Well, welcome back, everybody. Like I said here, it's a lovely rainy Thursday in Wisconsin, placed in shelter with your host, Ryan Catarozoli. If you are catching on YouTube and want to be a part of the conversation, as always, use the link in the description below, and you can join us live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Central Time. Today's episode, I'm going to start out, I don't really have any crazy quarantine updates for you, but with that, today's episode is going to be a little different. You know, we've been doing a lot of product stuff. We've had some cool guest speakers on talking about different industry things, different industry tools. Yesterday was awesome. I've had several great emails saying how cool the episode yesterday was. But today, we are actually going to do Service 101. And yes, that's a double dose of the Catarozolis right there. Kevin has elected to not be on video. I can't blame him. So I just decided to put a nice little caricature on here that you can find on the Hatco website. And of course, he's the better looking of the two Catarozolis. So me and Kevin were sitting and we were trying to figure out kind of what the basics were when it comes to making a service call. What steps can you take, whether you're the representative, whether you're the customer, what steps can you take so that you can have a successful service experience with us? So I'm sure we've forgotten a few things, but again, and for sake of time, we wanted to break this down into kind of a brief list of what we're looking for when it comes to making a service call. Number one, we're going to go Service 101 here. The most important thing that you can possibly get for us is the serial number. And I know everyone's called in, and when customer service or the service representative asks you for the serial number, sometimes you think that it's just us making you go do a chore, and that's not the case. The serial number actually gives us a ton of valuable information. Some of you that have been with Hatco for a long time know we've got a ton of different configurations. So just something as simple as a GRHL will give you the model number, but it doesn't tell you if there's extra lights. It doesn't tell you a lot of the different configuration details. And if you listen to what was Dave Ralston's presentation and now Dan Frigo's presentation at Hatco School, you know that the strip heaters alone have, I think it's something like a made up number, 1 quadrillion different configurations, because you've got a number of different power locations and whether it's a remote box or a switch. So the model number will give you, this much of the story. That serial number will allow them to pull up the right unit and know exactly what's on it. With that, here's a little tidbit. Some of you might know, some of you might not. When you look at the serial number, it's a 10-digit number. The last 4 digits will actually tell you the year that it was made and the week that it was made. So for example, if the last 4 digits are 2010, that means that it was manufactured in the 10th week of 2020. So kind of a neat little thing some people may not have known. The other thing to point out here, most of our equipment is all tested, tested to full operation at the factory prior to shipment. So if there's a problem immediately after it's been shipped and installed, chances are there's an installation issue over a warranty or something wrong with the piece of equipment. Not to say that it never happens, but a lot of times we need to get into the troubleshooting to figure out what was wrong with the installation versus what's wrong with the piece of equipment. One other thing to point out when we talk about installation, remote mounted boxes for glow ray strip units are designed remotely for that specific reason. Remember to remove it from the heat zone. So although it's easier during an installation to put the remote box directly next to the strip heater, it is much better to get that away from the heated zone. Next one, fill out your warranty registration, especially if you're selling from a stock piece that may have been sitting for an extended period of time. Now I'm going to share my screen briefly here because I didn't even know where this was. So this is the home screen. So if I pull up Hatco, everyone should be seeing my website here. If I go under the support tab, right down here where it says warranty, this will bring up a page, and right here on your right-hand side will be where the warranty registration information goes. Now, why is that so important? Well, let's get into it. So when it comes to warranty, Hatco's warranty period is a 12-month parts and labor from date of installation or 18 months from the original shipping date from the factory. So it effectively gives any stock products 6 months. This is where the warranty really comes in, because it shows when the unit actually goes into service and will give you that full 12-month period of warranty. So that's extremely important to fill out the warranty information. Now, I have to point something out here. Although we have to draw a line somewhere, and right now our line is 18 months. So 18 months from the time that it was sent out of the factory, or 12 months from the time of install, we want to have that 1 year of warranty. We have to draw the line somewhere. If we made it 20 months, somebody will call up and say, well, it's about 21. Can you help me out? So regardless of where we put that line, somebody is going to inevitably ask us to extend the line a little bit. So here's what I want to say. Our guys in service are on the phone all the time doing a bang-up job. They're doing a ton of work for us, but there's times when a simple question comes in, they look up a serial number, and it's out of warranty. If you have extenuating circumstances, stadium jobs, prisons, hospitals, a lot of jobs that have big, long sales cycles, please work with your dealer sales manager, because I want to emphasize the fact that Hatco is here and we want to be easy to work with. Now, I can't promise every single time you call one of us, we're going to be able to push it through. But if there's extenuating circumstances that do cause us to be able to extend that warranty or maybe change the in-service date, we can do those things. But don't get mad at the guys on the phone, because we do have to draw a line somewhere. And I hope that makes sense. So let's move along. Don't panic if the warranty is denied. If warranty registration is not filled out, we go based on the invoice date and could end up in a situation where we inform the service agent the unit is outside the warranty period. But if the customer or dealer are able to provide invoice of sale with the serial number, that can be corrected. So again, this goes with exactly what I just said. We want to make sure that we're doing all of the homework and having as much detail as possible so that we can make decisions if those circumstances come up or if those situations come up. Now, customer is having an issue. Remember, we were talking about installation being potentially the bigger issue than the actual piece of equipment, since they're all tested. Having customers check the basics, examples, making sure the breaker's not tripped, fan filters are clean, trying a different outlet perhaps. This can all save time and money, because a service agent is not able to bill us for a trip charge if they come out and the unit's not plugged in, or if the circuit breaker was tripped, or if it's something as simple as cleaning out a fan so that the electronics can breathe better. Those are things that are not going to be covered under warranty, and somebody will have to pay for the bill for the service department to come out there. So let's do the troubleshooting first before we go ahead and call out a service agent. Now, it is never, ever a bad idea to give our service department a call, and that's 800-558-0607. They are on the phone, and that's specifically what they're there for, is to help with troubleshooting. There's a ton of different things that they can do over the phone that can help correct a piece of equipment without having to have a service agent come out there. Now, if they've gone through all the troubleshooting and they can help determine whether or not a service agent is needed, a lot of times they may know of a part and they can send that part out ahead of time. So that way you can save yourself 2 trips of the service agent coming out to diagnose it and then having to come back to fix it. So you have a lot of advantages there. Now, once the basics are checked and you believe that the unit is defective, and an authorized service company can be contacted and dispatched for a service call. Hatco does not dispatch any service calls ourselves. So whoever at the company places their service call to an authorized service agent. Now, one note, whoever places the call for the service will be held responsible for the charges in the event of a non-warranty situation. It's important to note that most service providers in the food service industry do require a credit card. I know this has been a bit of a topic. Sometimes that's easier said than done. Our stance is this: we have a huge service network out there that we work with. We work with the biggest and largest companies out there. There's always going to be situations where your customer is in a remote location. Sometimes it's harder to find a service agent in those areas. Again, work with your dealer sales manager, work with our guys in service, and we'll try to do everything we can to correct that situation. But we encourage our customers to have an ongoing relationship with the service agent, because they don't just have Hatco products. They have a whole slew of different manufacturers' products inside there. And it's best for them to have a relationship with somebody that can maybe make a trip out to see them for a particular issue. But since they have a good relationship, that same service agent can look at this or look at that and you might be able to bundle in a few calls within one, if that makes sense. So we encourage them to have a good relationship with their service agent. Moving on for sake of time, fuses are not covered under warranty unless they're accompanied by a defective component. If the fuse goes down, it is assumed that it was caused by an outside electrical issue, which is what the fuse is there in the first place. That should make sense. Glass is not a warranty issue. If the glass is damaged when the unit arrives on site, that is a freight damaged unit, and that should be handled accordingly through freight damage. Obviously, you and I both know sometimes there's concealed damage, and again, work with your dealer sales manager, and we will work to correct some of those things. But if it's broken in the field, if it's broken as a regular daily use of the equipment, that's not going to be covered under warranty. And last but not least, the light bulbs. Our standard 40-watt incandescent bulbs are not a warranty issue. Those are typical wear and tear components of a piece of equipment that do have to be maintained and replaced on a regular basis. Now, with saying that, if you remember back to a previous episode, we do have our CLED bulbs, which is the LED equivalent, the Edison socket style LED, and those are covered under the same Hatco service warranty. So hopefully those guidelines can set you up for success, so that way when your customer calls, or if you are the customer, you have a piece of equipment that goes down, you know the different steps that you can take to get your equipment up and running as quickly as possible. With that, that's going to wrap up today's talk, and we are going to hop over into chats. Would it be possible to have a separate document to act as a checklist or a things to ask before the end user has to call the authorized service agent? That's not a bad idea. And in fact, this list that Kevin and I just put together, I think if we put it in front of the powers that be, maybe a little bit of editing, this isn't perfect. It was us this afternoon coming up with the topic. I think we could come up with some sort of a checklist that customers could use. And quite frankly, Brent, I think that's a really good idea. You would definitely want someone to be able to go through and make sure that they've done all the appropriate steps to avoid a lot of headaches. I mean, how often do we say, call one of our authorized service agents, and the next thing you know, a service agent that's not authorized is called, the unit is under warranty, but yet now that service agent's not set up with us. You do have some headaches there. Now, one other thing that you just reminded me of there, Kevin just said, yes, he's gonna put together a checklist as well. Kevin, if you are on, I might have to unmute you here, but I'm gonna share my screen for a second and get back onto, right on here. Kevin, if you can tell me, I believe it's under support. Here it is. So if you're on our website and you go under support and you put find a service agent, this is going to be the fastest way for you to find a service agent that is certified. So if the unit's under warranty, you can simply call direct to them. They will come out and see you and then bill us directly for any warranty issues. Simply putting in here your state, zip code, and then the distance, it will give you a number of different service agents. So remember, homepage, under support, find a service agent. So really good information right there. Alrighty, let's get back into the questions here. Harmon, I think customer service could use that checklist too, in case we get a call from a dealer directly. I think that's a great idea. Sometimes we come up with brilliant ideas. Brent, I think it's a great idea. Like I said, anytime somebody has a checklist so that they can make sure that they're doing the proper steps, I think is a great idea. So thank you for that. All right, let's move into everybody's favorite part of the show and our memes for today. These came in from April over at Professional Reps, and I love me some Kevin Hart, can't lie. My face when someone in the room coughs weird. And it has to be a weird cough, right? Not just a clear your throat thing. Here's another good one from April. If you really think this is going to end and life will return to normal in the next month, raise your hand. Now slap yourself with it. Because we all know things are going to be a little different. And last but not least, as summer's approaching, and I know Craig said it was 110 with no clouds, well, welcome to the pools there in Las Vegas. So I imagine this is what summer's going to be like. All righty. Well, with that, thank you again. I thought it was a great episode today. As usual, if you're on YouTube, want to join us live, you can always use the link in the description below, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Central Time. If you are subscribed to Hatco's YouTube page, you can use the bell notification. That'll let you know every time we post a new video. And show us that you're liking the content by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thanks, everybody, and have a great day.